What is up, Critics? Welcome back to the series where I customize and review past DLC and OG vehicles that I got the chance to, because I didn't start making car customization videos till about late 2015. Again, guys, let me know in the comments what car from late 2015 and older you want to see me customize next, and I'll display the most liked vehicle suggestion comment in the next customization video. So in today's video, we're going to be customizing the Anis RE-7B. Now, I did customize this car in the past when it originally released, but that was an old video with no commentary, so a lot of you guys wanted me to recustomize it for this video. But anyways, this car came out with the Cunning Stunts update in July of 2016 and can be purchased from a Legendary Motorsport website for just under $2.5 million, which is an insane amount of money for a car in GTA, especially for one from 2016. And this one doesn't really have that much visual customization either. However, race cars do typically carry a higher premium in terms of price tag, so I guess it kind of makes sense, but 2016, that's kind of pushing it. Now, in terms of performance, this car is in the supercar class and has amazing handling, as you would expect, as well as great acceleration and good top speed, placing it in top 10 for the supercar class in terms of lap time. It's still very competitive with the top supercars, except for the Emirates and Krieger, which are in a completely different league of their own. And for next-gen players, the weaponized Ignis and Cyclone 2 with the HSW upgrades are obviously even crazier and faster. But again, generally speaking, the RE-7B is still an extremely fast track car. And for those of you who remember when this car originally released in 2016, it was very broken and had a pretty well-known speed glitch that was triggered by having the carbon spoiler and stock wheels. With max upgrades and those two options on the car, it would cause it to basically get a similar speed boost to curb boosting, but it would do it on flat roads with no curbs, and it would do it over and over again really fast by itself. And it would cause the car to go almost 150 miles an hour, which made it the fastest car in the game at the time by quite a substantial margin. And combine that with how well it also handled, it was literally unstoppable at the time, and was pretty much the only car you could win most races with, especially the stunt races. But only 3 months after that, the Bikers update released and it was subsequently patched, so it was fixed. But anyways, in terms of what the RE-7B is based on, it's primarily based on the Mazda 787B. You can see the names are kind of similar, which that car was absolutely legendary with that crazy four-rotor engine, which is arguably one of the best sounding race cars ever made. Now, the headlights are taken from the 2014 Audi R18 e-tron Quattro, and it also has some design cues from some other race cars as well. Overall, it's a pretty good looking car and something I think Rockstar did a great job on. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out the customization of the RE-7B. Alright, RE-7B. Okay, we got armor, brakes, engine, exhaust coming out of the side. Gives you the titanium setup. Not bad, both sides. Okay, why not? Lights. I think we'll keep the white lights, honestly. Liveries. So you got this livery here, very similar to the 787B livery. And then you have the Pegasus livery here. Two very nice liveries. I think I'm going to go with the 787B livery. Why not? Very similar to it. Respray. The closest you're going to get is just making the primary color green. That's as close as you're going to get in this game. So we're going to do that. I think we'll just do a bright green. Bright green looks pretty good. Let's do that there. Pearlescent. I'll just leave that the way it is. Secondary. So on this car, it's really weird. It's the chassis back here, kind of like rear portion, but not the entire thing, just that part of it you can see they're changing. Very strange. But I think when we open the rear compartment, it should show more, if that even opens. I really can't remember. So I guess, I don't know if we should make it match green or make it red. You know what? We'll make it red so that we can see how it all looks under there. So we'll do red. Rear spoiler, so you have the stock spoiler, very similar to the 787B rear spoiler, and then you have the carbon tail. Now, unfortunately, on these Cunning Stunts vehicles, even though the traction bar doesn't go up, you still need to put the spoiler upgrade to get the extra traction benefits. So keep that in mind, even though this isn't the fastest car for racing anymore. But if you do want, to get the quickest and best traction out of it, you're gonna have to go with the carbon tail. So for driving purposes in this video, I am gonna put the carbon tail on it, but usually the way I have it set up in my garage, since I rarely drive it, is with the stock spoiler because it just looks better, at least in my opinion. Anyway, suspension goes slammed all the way, transmission, turbo, wheels. Now here's one of the most controversial things on this car, and that was fixed with the S80RR, but this was kind of like the first car to have this issue, at least one of the first cars. So when you change the wheel to any wheel, it doesn't matter, let's just go random high end. You see the front looks fine, but when we go to the back wheel, you can see how the stock back wheel is nice and flush. Look at the width of it, a very wide rear tire. Now watch what happens when we go to a custom wheel. Yep, the wheel goes almost half the size in width. And it's super far in. Look at that fitment, just god awful. Doesn't matter which wheel you choose, even the brand new track wheels, doesn't matter, they all do the same thing. Street wheels, you can see all the same stuff. So any wheel except for stock has correct fitment. Now I'm not really complaining too much because I absolutely love the stock wheels on this car. I think they're absolutely gorgeous, and they're slicks as well. You can see there's no tread, plus the little subtle atomic yellow tire lettering. I just love these wheels, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But if you want to put a different design on there, especially with all the cool wheels we have in the street and track category, it's kind of unfortunate that you can't put one of the wheels on here, like for example, like this one for example. Let me see, this one, where's the one with the chrome 90s running? There we go, like this one for example. But then you have this awful fitment back here. It's really unfortunate. It really is. I mean, any of these wheels will look super cool on this car, but you really can't put them unless you want a really ugly looking back end. And it's not like if you don't see it that much, because even when you're driving it, you're forced to look at these narrow rear tires. That's just awful, man. It's just terrible. And Rockstar never went back and fixed it. All these years, this car's from 2016, literally almost 6 years later, and they never went back to fix it. Very unfortunate. And even with the new version for PS5, they still left it the way it was. Now the S80RR has a similar setup, but when you put a custom wheel, this doesn't happen. The rear one stays the same width, and it's all normal, but this is one of the only broken ones. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna keep the stock wheels. I just love the way they look, plus we don't want that garbage fitment. Okay, continuing windows. I think I'm not gonna do any tints on that. We'll just leave it the way it is. It is a race car after all, and that's all the options there. Now this car doesn't have a plate, so there's a few cars in GTA that don't have license plates. This is one of them. There are some race cars that have plates, but because some people can argue, well, it's a race car, it's not supposed to have a plate. But there are some race cars in the game that do have plates. Rockstar's just weird. I guess they pick and choose whichever ones they want. Okay, let's go ahead and back out, exit to ground, see how it drives. I haven't driven this car in forever. It's been a very long time. Oh boy, let's give it a couple revs. Sounds pretty decent. Not quite the 787 4-rotor, the 787B 4-rotor. That would have been a much better sound. They kind of gave it a normal exhaust note here, not really anything too crazy. But alright, let's floor it. Rear wheel drive, tons of wheel spin, but it gets going pretty quick. Oh yeah, great handling, great top speed. I think it just needs the slightly better acceleration, and I think it would be very on par with the top supercars. Got incredible downforce, and when you put off roads on it, this thing handles a lot better because it absorbs the bumps a lot better in take some corners here. It's a very weird car to drive, and like it got like a little bit of a delay on the turn-in, but when once it bites, it turns like really hard. It's very weird. You have that initial turn-in delay, and then boom, it turns really hard. It's like you have to be super careful. And doesn't really like the bumps too much. It upsets a little bit. First person here, you can see with digital gauge cluster. It's a cool looking car, and it drives well. Yeah, with the off-road, this thing with off-roads is night and day. You definitely want to put off-roads on it if you're going to be racing it or whatever. Even though you talked about earlier, it's not really a good idea anymore. But depending on who you're racing, in the different skill levels, you should be able to compete pretty decently. I'm gonna go around here. Alright, let's pull over and open all the doors and stuff. I can't remember if the back opens or not. I think it's only the doors. I can't remember. Let's see. Vehicle. See here. All and only the doors open. Okay, I guess I was thinking of the S80RR. That one almost, I think everything opens on that one. That one's cool. This one, unfortunately, it just does that. That's kind of a shame. So, that secondary color is just that little bit of chassis. Like, what is that? That's so random. I think the best thing to do in that situation is maybe make it match that kind of pale yellow color, or maybe make it green or white. I don't know. That's just weird. Probably white, because that will kind of, or cream, that will kind of match the primary looking color of this livery. It's like a whitish cream color. Okay. Interior is awesome. Got the carbon seats, full race spec. I mean, it's a cool looking car, and the headlights are very unique looking as well. Let's turn them on here. Headlights. Boom, look at that. Very cool looking headlights. And the tail lights too. Now, overall, you know, should you consider buying this car? Personally, I don't think so. Because you have the S80RR, which does everything better. It's faster, handles better. I mean, it's got better customization. All the doors and panels open. It has the really cool center sitting position like an F1 car. I mean, everything on that car is just better. It's basically this car, but like it's RE-7B 2.0. And it has that wheel issue fixed, and it's only $100,000 more than this one. So yeah, the S80RR is the one you want if you're looking to buy this one. Kind of unfortunate. I think Rockstar could have easily gone back and fixed that wheel issue. That would kind of seal a deal for me in terms of making it worth it a bit more, but that wheel issue is still really annoying, especially for those of you who want to, you know, change the look of your wheels, which really makes the car look a lot different. It's really unfortunate they never went back and fixed that. And only the doors open. That's kind of unfortunate. The S80RR is just a ton better. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Remember to let me know down below in the comments what car from late 2015 and older you want to see me customize next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.